Welcome to the third episode of Tiger Talks. My name is Will Leahy, and I'm joined by my co-host Mark Wamhoff. Today we are joined by Jaden Ferguson, class of 2024, and current wide receiver and track athlete at Lehigh University.
In his time at Woodbury Forest, Jaden was a four-year starter, team captain, and three-time All-Prep and All-State receiver while playing football. Along with this, he was a national champion in the triple jump, a three-time All-American in track and field. He won 15 state championships. He was a state record holder in the high jump in the 4x1, four-time school record holder, and Central Track and Field Athlete of the Year last year. So that's pretty cool.
Thanks for joining us, Jaden. How's everything going right now, Lehigh?
Been going good. Kind of just finished up school. There's some people left here, but I'll be here for the summer competing in track still, and then football start up middle of the summer. So just spend my time here and do what I can to relax. But it's all been really good though.
Yeah, awesome. So something we've been doing with with our first two, we do kind of like the start bench cut. I'm assuming you know how that works, right?
Yeah.
All right, so today we're gonna do eye black. So first one would be the design, like a doing some sort of design, eye black, something like that. Just a line or or nothing or no eye black at all.
Start nothing. Bench design, cut line.
Hey, I would have thought that design would have been first for you.
See, I go design a lot, but sometimes like I just know I'll never go like straight line.
Yeah.
Like and a lot of times I'll go nothing too. But if I
Yeah.
do put some on, it's like usually something down my face.
Yeah, totally.
So
Yeah.
Sure.
I guess for me, I'd start the design. Um, actually kind of tried to go with the we had a game yesterday. A tough loss, but tried the little Jackson Dart eye blackout.
yeah.
Uh, and then I'll start the line. I just like to have something, and then
Yeah.
I'll cut the no eye black.
Mm.
So I'm gonna have to start design too. I feel like last season that was like my go-to was that like Anakin Skywalker line and like the
Yeah.
that's kind of
Through the
like
eyes tough. Through
I
the
kind
eyes
of
tough.
like on a quarter I feel like it was kind of tough. And then
Yeah.
other than that, I'd have to probably bench none and cut just a line because I feel like I don't know, I couldn't just wear just a line. I feel like I don't know. So yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's always fun to just start off with something like that.
Yeah.
So like kind of just getting into, just I guess your past, we know you went to Fluvanna. So like what was that transition like from Fluvanna? I don't know if you were a sophomore or junior, and how it worked. Like what were like the main differences that you saw and like why'd you switch to Woodbury, honestly? Like why Woodbury in the first place?
Yeah. So I mean, when I was at Fluvanna, my last year there, I was a sophomore in high school, and I'd already done some pretty good things in sports, like some of my higher accolades. But that's when I kind of realized I wanted to take it to as high of a level as I could, and I just felt I wouldn't max out my opportunities in the spot I was in. So I started looking around, and there was a lot of places I looked, and I knew some athletes at Woodbury. Uh, got in touch, and the coaches were eager to get me in. I came in and I looked at the campus, and like I'd never toured, like done anything like that. It was before I'd even known what college recruiting was like. So when I saw it, I was just like, whoa, like compared to my public school, this is crazy. So I was really excited about it in the beginning. And then I got to Woodbury and it was really rough at first, actually.
Mhm.
I didn't like it at all. I hated it when I first got there. It took me a really long time to like realize that buying into it like really rewards you. That it wasn't just BS and like
Yeah.
everybody's not just like fake happy and like stuff like that. But there was other factors of it like homesickness too. All that stuff messes with you. But yeah, like school too, that was a big, big turnaround compared to public school. My grades were really bad when I had first got to Woodbury. There was just stuff I had no idea I was doing with. But same deal with that. Like once I bought into like how much everyone at Woodbury is like just really trying to help you, it helped me a lot, obviously. And I graduated doing pretty well for myself, I'd say. And yeah, it was just a good
Yeah.
choice overall for sure.
I kind of felt the same way. Like when I walked in, like it was like I felt like a recruiting trip almost. Like you like
Yeah,
all this
yeah.
crazy stuff, and you're like, I want to be a part of this. But I mean,
Mhm.
do you feel like I know like that jump from like public to private school is always big. We talk about like we had like Jay. I had talked to JD all about it last year.
Yeah.
And so, what do you think like having study hall, honestly, like do you think that just like kind of propelled you or just like also seeing that seeing everybody else is doing the work, like that kind of just helped you kind of get like in that mentality academically?
Yeah, I mean, you would think like with me here doing two sports, track and football, like I would have all types of crazy structure, like people all over me. But like the most structure I've ever had in my life is at Woodbury. So like having something like study hall, obviously one of the things I would have hated when I first got there. But like I look back now and like yeah, you got a lot of work when you go to Woodbury, but like if you don't have that time cut out, like forcing you to do it, it's not gonna get done, and it's
Yeah,
just gonna be like terrible. So I mean, yeah, I mean, looking back now, I fully agree with it for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I mean, I know you said Woodbury had the most structure, but
Hmm.
did Woodbury academically and or athletically prepare you for, I guess, the challenges, not really the structure, but the challenges you'd face in college and school and in athletics?
I think the main thing that really carries over is the mental part of it. Because like being at Woodbury, being on my own, like there's some guys here, like just because we're like in a pool of athletes, like I haven't really networked too much. Like most of the people I'm very close with are my teammates, either football or track, but everyone that I know is they've had their own struggles, and the ones that usually have less are the ones that have come from the private schools. My GPA in the fall was pretty solid. I was one of the like top 16 on the football team because some guys had really struggled, and a lot of those guys were the private school guys, like I said. And I know for a fact academically it set me up pretty well. Just I still carry some of the habits, just like get stuff done as fast as I can because I know how much it'll stress me out if I don't. And I just don't have anywhere near as much work because your classes are just a lot more spread out in college, or at least the
Mm,
way classes are structured here, it is. So it's a lot easier for me to stay on top of my stuff and like when material's hard. It's there's definitely not like I'm not on the same 400 person campus where I know everybody. I can just go get help immediately. Like I gotta set up office hours, all that, but I rarely set up office hours. I'm not gonna lie. I'll usually just try and find someone I know that can help me out, or find a way to get it on my own, and it does me pretty well. But yeah. And then athletically, I that also definitely took a step up for me when I got to Woodbury. I mean, I kind of had a change of pace as well. I mean, at one point I was very focused on running track, and I was gonna plan to do that in college. But coming to Woodbury, being in a different environment, first playing football with Coach Braswell, Scott Braswell, and then my last 2 years with Coach Mateo. Um, and y'all been over there killing it too. Like,
Yeah,
I really hope I can make it to the game next year, bro.
yeah,
Like, we were playing at Holy Cross last year, but I'll get up there soon for sure.
be sweet.
Um, but yeah, I just the the development I had at Woodbury definitely put me in a good spot because I just know the balance it takes, and it's like it's what you put into it that I mean you're gonna get out. And just being able to have that structure and that gear to turn to just not make like the lazy or the easy choice sometimes. Because a lot of that's really burned into us. I feel like at Woodbury, and I'm sure y'all can agree with that. So
Yeah, totally. That's sweet, honestly, that like you've seen that. I'm sure it's like, I mean, I've heard it from a lot of people. I feel like that like when they go to college, it's honestly like easier. I mean, I'm sure like your schedule's really hard, but like academically, it's like
yeah,
you're
yeah,
set up so great that it's like it's just not a struggle because it's like you've already been doing that for
yeah.
your entire time at Barry. That's awesome. Kind of like looking into like the sports wise, like what I know you talk about like track, how that was like your main focus throughout like Fluvanna. Like you always like you thought you were wanting to go there, but like what would you say is like your favorite sport here? I know it probably changed, but like what was like your favorite sport? Maybe your favorite memory, favorite moment throughout Woodbury, whether it was like on the track or on the field.
Um, my very first EHS game was like just a crazy one. It was a really good game. 2017 was final score, I think. And just I just remember like that was one of my like I will remember Woodbury forever moments. And that was like one of the first like really major ones. It might have been the most major one at Woodbury, honestly. But there's just some other like really big ones too, and just like individual things that I'll never forget and that I'm just really proud of. Like my very first state championship with track, indoor season my sophomore year. I got triple gold and PR'd in all three of my jumps in one day, long jump, high jump, and triple jump. And that was just really awesome. And went on to do more in track, but that was one of my greater showings. So definitely always remember moments like that. Those two stick out for sure.
I still remember that. I guess it was. I mean, I was on the sideline last year for that EHS game, but I remember that like when Fats threw you that ball and you were like trying to get away from that guy who was like hanging on your.
Oh, it caught on my
I,
leg. Yeah, yeah.
I still remember that moment. That was so
Uh,
funny. Everyone thought it was like touchdown, then they called it back for some reason. It was so dumb.
shouldn't have been down, bro. Shouldn't have been down.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Um, in friggin' track, I mean, I've never run track. I've never kind of been involved, but I know you said you PR'd in all those different, I don't know, events. Is it, do you get tired? I know you like after you do a certain event, are you tired going to the next one? Or after once you get into one event, is it like your mindset's set on that one and you're just kind of focused on doing your best in that one? You're, I don't know, tiredness goes away.
Yeah, I've honestly like learned about myself more as an athlete like ever in this year, but with how much I've had to balance because the fatigue I've had to deal with and just trying to stay away from being very injury prone because of the lifestyle I'm having to live. I've had to just find my way to move through a lot of obstacles. So jumps wise, like you have to be smart about it. It's just like distance running, you have to have strategy. Like um, if you're going into a competition, most of them are at the college and pro level are three jumps in preliminaries, three jumps in finals. And if you're an elite jumper, you're planning to make it finals every time you go. So you're planning on popping a good jump as quick as you can your first three preliminaries. And if you get one you're comfortable with, then sit on that and take that to finals. And like even if it's a really, really good jump, sit on it as long as you can. Mm. I've had competitions, especially I did it sometimes in high school, not because fatigue like now, but just injuries where I was scared to take like what 12 jumps in a day, and if I'm high jumping on top of that, I can go up to however many jumps you can take, however many bars you can get
Mhm.
over. So
Yeah.
but yeah, you got to be smart about it, know your
Yeah.
body, and that's something I've just really tried to be good about this year is know my body. So
Yeah. I know you talk about like injuries. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I remember Lucas talking about like I think it would have been your junior season, his sophomore season, how like you missed some of that season because you like had like a broken ankle or something. Like, how do you think like those injuries that you've had at Woodbury? How have you been able? I don't know if you've stayed healthy throughout these two seasons, which is probably pretty rough, but have you figured out a way, kind of just like to stay away from getting injured? Honestly.
I mean, I just recovery wise, it's something you have to be on, and that's like one of the things that comes to my mind when I think about like keeping those like that structure and those gears turning, just like those extra things, like keeping them locked in. They have to be there if you want to be what you want to be. And so just keep those little reminders and like, I mean, me, I'm big on my faith and prayer does a lot for me. Just if I'm feeling like I can't do something, I know I can and I know how I can. So I just pray about it. And
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like it's so tough to like. I mean, I feel like injuries can happen so quick without like
yeah.
it just happens. That's awesome.
Um,
Um,
so I mean, I know people might, I don't know, be wondering about this. I'm wondering about this. Just kind of listening to you talking. We were gonna ask it later, but I was just kind of thinking it right now. Could you take us through your day to day, or just one day in your week, in your schedule, at Lehigh, thinking about getting through the structure of track and football?
Yeah, so I was kind of like giving Mark a little rundown
yeah.
earlier, but spring is where it gets wicked. Spring is bad, but fall is okay. I can focus on football. It's just like regular have classes, football practice, football meetings. And of course I have camp and summer workouts before that leading up.
Hmm.
Winter also pretty nice. I come back early from winter break and do winter camp for track, and then I have indoor season. I have football lifts during that, but it's okay. I'm a little sore at practice some days, but I manage. It just gives me a little extra strength, a little extra weight to work with in the winter. And then the spring is like the schedule you'd wanna have breakdown. It's 4:25, wake up, get over to the facilities. Um, let's see. I think it's 2 of the 3 days a week is full pads. The rest is just shells. Um, on the field by 5:45, like warm ups starting 5:45. Practice ends no later than 7:30. Get to breakfast check by 8:45. Swipe your card, coach sitting there, check your name off. Get to class, my class schedule each day. It's different classes, but I make sure it's the same time. So I'm just on the same clockwork. I'm glad I set it up that way because it did me well. But I would get to 9:20 class after breakfast check, get out of there 10:35, get to my 11 lift, finish that before my 1:30 class, get out of 1:30 class at 2:50, get to treatment for track at 3:30, start track practice at 4:45, finish that and go to the track lift at 6:30. And then I come back and do whatever homework I have for the night. Usually try and knock that out before, like you wouldn't think so, but like there's little squeaks of time in there somewhere. I don't know, but somewhere, somehow. And then go to sleep quick as I can, repeat.
Dang.
I don't know. That's crazy. I know we are talking about that. I don't know how I could keep up with all that. I feel like that's just like,
In a
I mean,
way, it just becomes like
just
a
how you live, you know?
the days mash together and
Yeah,
you just go, keep going,
that's awesome.
head
I
down
mean,
and go.
kind of like getting into that, like talking about Lehigh, I feel like I know your recruiting was, pretty, popping throughout your senior year and junior year. What was kind of like your recruiting process throughout high school? I guess involving football more than track. But like I know Lehigh was like an option, like you could run track and football, but what was like your big like what was recruiting like as a football player, playing receiver?
With football, it was crazy because I wanted to at one point I wanted to let track take me to a big school because I had like numbers that like had me respectable on a national level, and I just got to a point where I was like I want to earn something for myself in football. I don't want to just go somewhere run track and be a PWO on the football team at some SEC school and just like be their practice slave. Like um, so I just really started pushing my recruitment in football as much as I can. And I feel like in that time is like when I was most injured and it sucked a lot, but I just did everything I could. Like when I had the like broken hand, I was playing the club. Like, well, who knows what those highlights are gonna do? But I was just trying to get out there and put something on film because that's like all that was on my mind, like at the time, which is film, film, film. I need film. Like um, and so I scraped up what I could, and I talked to a lot of schools, and when it came down to it, I started to tell coaches wherever I go, I want to do both. I want to do football and I want to do track. And Lehigh, Army, and Navy were the three schools that were going to give me a full ride and let me do that. So um, I contemplated a lot, actually. Some people might not have thought so, but serving wasn't ideal, but a lot of the stuff that comes along with it and just the academies themselves, how nice they are, it was really tempting. But so far, I feel like I've made the right choice, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's done me pretty well. So
In in that process, was there ever a point where you were talking to a coach, maybe a school that you like really wanted to go to, and you said that you wanted to do both, and they were kind of hesitant about it, and said, "I kind of maybe I don't really want you to do that." Was there a point where you were at a school, had a school like that, and you wanted to go there?
honestly, no. The thing was, I felt like a lot of coaches when I would start to talk about that, like I could tell it loosened their interest. Like their responses would like it they just seemed like a little fake, like oh yeah, yeah, we'll look into it. Like I don't really know much about like track here or anything or track. But then like Leah, I like Coach Cahill here, Coach Kevin Cahill. Um, he's done great things for the team here. I mean, this was a struggling football program for a long time, and this season was the best in over a decade. First conference championship win,
Yeah.
also well over a decade, and like it's just been so much fun. But like he's just on top of a great coach, great guy. And when I remember being on my official visit, being in the stadium, just sitting up top in one of the boxes with him, and it was when I told him like I'm gonna run track and play football wherever I go, and he was like so into it. Like he was telling me like how close he was with Coach Brooke, the head track coach here, or Coach Kayla, the head track coach here, and we like talked about it for a long time. He was just super excited about it, and he had already like known about my track numbers and was like saying how that's one of the ways they found me, all this, and like it just had me like really excited about feeling like I could have a coach that was like gonna really be real with me. And I was a little underwhelmed and upset with myself about this past football season, but I try not to be upset with myself because some things happen that I just can't control. During camp, I had to do a procedure on my throat, and it only knocked me out like fully out of practice for a week, but I wasn't fully back for a month or so after that. And just that time period for that to happen really set me back. And about halfway through the season, decided that I was going to do a redshirt year. So I see that as a blessing now, though, because I'll have limitless opportunities with that in 3 years from now. So,
Yeah. I mean,
uh,
I feel like I know what you're like. We talked with Landon last week. He talked about like his freshman season was kind of disappointing and all that. And I feel like he said like it was just a mental switch for him this summer.
yeah, it's a big thing to take
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I'm sure. I mean, honestly, things will. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a football player. Yeah, I'm not doing any of that. But I hope next season's like things go crazy. That'd be sweet.
I'm hoping so too.
Yeah,
And I've had lots of good talks with coaches, and like I know what they want from me, and like what they know I can do. So I'm just excited to really get this season going.
sweet. It's awesome.
So when you came here, you reclassed,
Yeah,
and I guess you've redshirted. Um, did are these, I guess reclassing, did that help with recruiting? Did that help with you as an athlete? And I don't know, would you recommend people to reclass if they wanted to?
I've always told people that anyone who disagrees with reclassing or has a problem with it, I don't see why. I don't see it as anything but beneficial, both for students academically and athletically. not even because you could be struggling in any area. It could just be because athletically injuries, like personal reasons, just family issues, like anything going on, just like a step back or just in a time that's a little more trivial than when you get to older ages, like be able to do it again. I mean, that's kind of how I see it. And I didn't plan on reclassing actually. When I decided to come to Woodbury, there wasn't any room in the 2023 class, my original class, and so I just joined the 24 class. And honestly, when they told me, I was like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Actually, I mean, that sounds kind of good. Honestly, do a sophomore year again. Why not?
That's awesome.
So
I feel like I'm like the same way towards that whole thing because
yeah.
when I wanted to come here, I was like, okay, I'll come as a senior, right?
Hmm.
Then I was like, reclassing would really help me out a whole lot because like
Yeah.
I was on the younger side. Like my birthday is later. I wasn't like
Mm.
that physically developed. I feel like in the gym.
Yeah.
I know I played 8-man football, so I was like, that's already like a disadvantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whole,
Definitely.
whole, whole
Definitely.
recruiting. So I feel like there's just so much upside to reclassing, honestly.
Absolutely.
And I don't see the point in like if you have the opportunity, I don't see the point in not taking that, honestly. So other than all my friends being in college, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine. So yeah, that's awesome. Um, I guess kind of like taking a step. I know we just talked about a lot about like Woodbury. But like, you know, I don't know how like involved it is at Lehigh yet, because I know it's only taking a big step now, but like has NIL been making its way to Eli or Lehigh, like in football or track? I don't know how big it is there yet.
Yeah, I don't. I know of guys who try and do things individually on the track team,
Yeah.
like for themselves, sponsorships and stuff like that, and they just try and work with companies. But as far as the football team goes, it's been something the coach has emphasized a lot, and that he's really trying to push to us and get us involved in. Right now, we have an NIL club and uh, also like a program that's connected to all of us that we can cash out from endorsers and just people who want to donate. It comes from all types of different places though, but that's not a lot. I can probably pull out like maybe 100 a month from that.
Yeah.
Um, but there's also some guys on the football team who do stuff on their own and work with different companies and do different sponsorships and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
the coaches
That's
are definitely trying to push it towards us though.
Yeah, because I feel like it's just like making its way. Yeah, I feel like you see like all the big headlines, like
Hmm.
you see like the Nico, like the whole Nico Imavilla switch situation,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Bryce Underwood's getting paid like
Hmm.
I don't know, like so much money, but I just don't like they talk about that for like the big time schools, and I was like,
Hmm.
I wonder what it's like. I don't know how it's gonna develop throughout the years, throughout the levels, but I mean honestly, I think it's pretty cool that like y'all can kind of benefit off of like what y'all work so hard for. So yeah.
Um, so I mean, so Jaden, what is we just talked about NIL, and maybe you're not thinking about this, trying to stay in the moment, but we talked to Landon. He was at Richmond and he transferred, but maybe he just had different reasons. Are you thinking about staying at Lehigh for 4 years and then transferring? Or are you thinking about taking this next year? Maybe you, I don't know, pop off, and then are you thinking about transferring, or are you just kind of trying to stay in the moment, or what's the deal? What's your future look like? Football,
I mean,
track wise.
with the red shirt, especially after that decision was made, the idea of staying here long enough to get a degree from here is really appealing because it's a really good school. It's a top 15
Mhm.
undergraduate institution in the country. And I just like I talked about like the benefits from academy schools, like I could reap a lot of good benefits from here as well. And I could very well see myself graduating from here because I would have another year to take somewhere. But with the confidence I am feeling for the next two track seasons, especially, and this next football season, the development if an opportunity did arise, then I think that would be pretty out of the box for me right now. But I don't think it would be something I would be fully opposed to.
Mhm.
Maybe the opportunity good enough. I mean,
Yeah. I know we were talking about it earlier too, like before we hopped on, but track, I feel like playing track, obviously like it's like really difficult right now. It was with the spring and all that. But do you think there'll ever be a moment where you say, I kind of just want to focus on track and put the cleats down, or say I want to focus on football, stop running track, just because of like I feel like over time, I don't know how like physically that'll be like enduring on your body. So
I think I'll stick with it.
yeah,
But I've had thoughts about possibly in the spring a little less track.
yeah,
And then if I'm able to kick it up like right at the end, like in the postseason time, like now when because I my best jumps have come recently, then I'd love to do that. But
yeah. I think it's tough.
I really would have liked to get more out of our spring ball in
Hmm.
football this year. I'll say that.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely
Yeah.
got to be tough.
Is it
Mhm.
is there stuff I mean, is there stuff you're missing in football because of track? Like what are you missing from football during this spring?
Really nothing. I'm at all the meetings. I'm at all the practices except for days I have meets or I'm traveling. Um, well, actually, I miss the Saturday practices, which are like they have the more scrimmage like periods. And I still get some live periods, but I just and the lifting too. I do like an entire like body change for track and football,
Mhm.
so that's interesting to work with. Uh, like I'll change like 15, 20 pounds up and down between football and track. So
Crazy.
um, it's hard to work with, but I find a way. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, kind of taking a step away from football. I feel like I've heard like I saw all of the. I know you were here at UVA not too long ago. I saw that. Like, how's track season been going? Because I know we were talking about earlier. You just made it to. You qualified for super regional. I don't know what it is. It's a tournament, but like, how's it been going?
it's been going good. Actually, my conference was one of the more unlucky competitions I've ever had because in long jump and triple jump, I jumped the farthest I've ever jumped in my life, but fouled every single one of my triple jumps and fouled all but one of my long jumps. Um, so that's kind of the reason I'm still competing right now is because I just refined the things I needed to refine, and like I knew what it was. It was the back of my approach that I needed to fix, and I fixed that, and I'm hitting the board like I need to hit the board now, and I just want to put those jumps on paper that I know are there. So that's kind of why I'm still going. But
That's awesome. That's sweet. So like, I guess it'll be. You're talking about it. What's like the schedule look like for the rest of the year? Because I know you're at Lehigh right now, so
yeah,
you're
so
going to track still. Like,
right now the plan is to I actually compete tomorrow. I'm going to compete in New Jersey. And really what I'm trying to do right now is just hit those marks that I know are right there and like secure my spot in the top 50 to put me over to the first round NCAAs. And yeah, I mean,
just see where it takes from there.
I with football starting, even if off a whim, I did jump into the top 15 in the country or top 20 in the country, however many they take to nationals this year, knowing that that wouldn't be like podium contention for me, most likely. Obviously, not right now. I don't think so. Um, I would probably just want to go start football because of how much I already feel eager and like just with spring ball, how I feel about that. I'm just ready for summer workouts camp and just be here. Like nothing to do but football. So yeah.
That's gonna be awesome. Yeah. I'm eager to play. I'm the same way. I'm ready to play football. Spring ball is starting up tomorrow.
Yeah.
For all the
Yeah.
guys,
I
like
saw the little graphic they made.
it's like I kind of it's just I miss it because I know they're gonna be down there with the pads on, and I'm just up the hill, So yeah, it's funny. Sweet.
So Jaden, we'll finish. We like to finish this off with one little thing. So what is one piece of advice you'd give to, I don't know, athletes that want to come to Woodbury, athletes in general, or just kind of students that want to come to Woodbury, pursue their dreams? Um, like what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone that like that? I know it's deep.
Find the positives and being humbled and enjoy being humbled so that when you return to those situations, you're bigger and better than you were. And you never you never get under something and just let it keep you there or not even be too scared to even step up to something because you feel like you're not good enough, you're not whatever enough to get it done. Just have that confidence in yourself and just keep moving forward. I mean, have faith.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the most important. Just trust God's plan, honestly. Like
Absolutely.
that's the main
Absolutely.
thing. That's awesome. Cool. Well, honestly, thanks, Jaden. I know this was a good amount of time just like sit away, just to put away, just to talk about just life, honestly, and reflect. So it was awesome having you.
Awesome. Nah, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you everybody for watching episode 3 with Jaden Ferguson. How as we talked about his journey as a track athlete and football athlete, that dual sport combination, just the struggles but advantages that come with it, and just what his life looks like. Stay tuned over the next couple of days for the next episodes, and we're looking forward to talking to you guys again.